Okay, so this is part two. This is the Ojai years to now. I did talk about some of the Ojai books. Um, yeah, yeah, I talked about some of the Ojai books, and then also the last two books. I talked about one of the last two books. Actually, one book that just popped in my head, which was one of the last books. I already talked about Interme. I'll talk about Interme again. Um, was No Man's Land, which was Field and Dawson's one of his last books, which is about interviews that he conducted with people in prison. Um, some of the the Ojai years, I'm not very familiar with when it was sold in New York. Well, actually, I'll just entitle this the California years because actually in '77, right after Sue had done Great Harmony, from what Thomas told me. Um, she left before he actually sold the press. Um, some of the books that were also produced in this year, in this time frame, were like Father Journal, um, maybe Great Harmony, because that's the only one I've ever seen. Um, so like um, the books that were produced in this year were like Great Harmony, Father Journal, and then once it was sold, would um, was was Sex, Death, and the Angry Young Man. That was right after. That was probably produced right after the sale. Um, How Deep is Deep Ecology? The, oh, and then two books I forgot about in the New York years, um, which I'll touch on in here. Um, is Listen to Marxism and Ecology and Revolutionary Things. Murray Bookchin. Um, Actually, another one that just came to my head is Great Gay in the Morning, which is a lesbian gay um, communion thing on Staten Island. Um, but yeah, sometime around the early 90, maybe even 89, um, the press was sold for the first time um, by sorry, by Tom Wadetsky to Lamar Hoover. So Lamar published a couple of things for a couple of years, including an updated version of early homosexual rights, which I'll do a deep dive on that. And let's see. So there isn't really much that I know of. There's no new posters by this time of anything. Actually, one of the posters I forgot to mention was Ida Brayman, which we're actually in the process of getting that reprinted. There's actually a couple of different versions of Che. Um, if people will actually want to look at them, I will post in this one and in the other one the the archives at the University of Michigan. Um, and So yeah, so on April 1st, 1997, um, my dad, who unfortunately is no longer alive, same as Lamar, he's passed away. Tom is really the only one still alive of the original owners. Um, we purchased the thing, and there's actually I'm looking at it actually right now because I still have the same thing up. It's the if you just type in Time Change Press, no matter if it's one word or spaced out, the first two stories you'll find is the OAC story, and then the other one that you will find is it says Ojai Valley Books acquires Time Change Press. Um, that was my dad's purchase on April 1st, 1997, and we are going on our 26th year of being in business. And the press is actually about over 50 years old. Over 50 years old, and it's still kicking. I'll start to do some deep dives on some of the books, probably tomorrow, hopefully. We'll see when I can get some other videos out, but in the meantime, hopefully you like these two videos. Peace out.